China's ban on the export of 7 types of rare earth minerals prompts U.S. President Donald Trump to initiate a probe, which he says could pose a threat to America's national security. With immediate effect, Hongkong Post halts all sea and land shipments of small goods parcels destined for the United States. And China's first quarter GDP tops estimates at 5.4% despite the tariff assault on mainland imports launched by the U.S. President Donald Trump. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Chu. From cars and industrial goods to aircrafts and semiconductors, the full-scale U.S.-China trade war has now entered deep into the belly of the earth as Washington and Beijing put restrictions on the export of rare earths. While both sides have expressed their desire to negotiate, neither have made a move to do so yet. Quentin Yang tells us more.
U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered a national security review of America's reliance on imported critical minerals and rare earth metals, which are crucial components in most electronic devices and high-tech military equipment. The probe aims to address America's vulnerabilities exposed by China's recent export ban on 7 types of rare earth minerals as part of its retaliation for U.S. tariffs. Meanwhile, U.S. chip giant NVIDIA says it will be hit with $5.5 billion in costs after the U.S. government tightened export rules to China. The firm will require licenses to export its H2O AI chip, which has been one of its most popular items. So far, Washington's wait for a phone call from Beijing seems to be never-ending, as China has shown no willingness to back down.
The ball is in China's court. China needs to make a deal with us. We don't have to make a deal with them. And China wants what we have, what every country wants, what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money.
Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said China does not want to fight, but is not afraid to fight. If the U.S. truly wants to resolve the issue through dialogue and negotiation, it should abandon extreme pressure tactics. To put their case forward, China has appointed Li Chenggang as its new trade envoy. The 58-year-old assumed the role for international negotiations and has served as Beijing's ambassador to the World Trade Organization. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Back locally, deliveries of small goods parcels destined for the United States are severely affected after Hongkong Post halted sending all sea and land shipments with immediate effect. Distribution of parcels through air mail will also be suspended starting April 27th. Xiao Yun reports.
A notice announcing the suspension was displayed at the General Post Office in Central. However, letters and parcels containing only documents will not be affected. Land and sea deliveries were suspended today as they would arrive in the U.S. only after May 2nd, when the 120% tariff on small parcels takes effect. Customers with pending shipments that have not yet been dispatched will be contacted starting April 22nd to arrange refunds or returns. This resident said he would hold off sending anything to the U.S. for now and wait to see if policies change later before exploring other options. The post office has reminded Hong Kongers to be ready to pay exorbitant fees due to America's unreasonable and bullying acts, reiterating that they will not collect any so-called tariffs on behalf of the U.S. The postal fee per item will go up from $75 to $100 after May 2nd, and from the planned $150 to $200 after June 1st. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
President Xi Jinping scored a diplomatic win with Malaysia's backing on trade with China as he was greeted with full state honors in the Southeast Asian nation's capital, Kuala Lumpur. Quentin Yang reports.
President Xi was given a ceremonial 21-gun salute this morning when he visited Istana Negara, the national palace, to meet Malaysia's king, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar. He was accompanied by host Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. In his meeting with the monarch, she emphasized deepening political trust and boosting economic cooperation. He pledged to expand importation of Malaysian agricultural products while advancing infrastructure collaboration. Later, in a closed-door meeting with Anwar, she said, China-Malaysia relations are ushering in a new golden era. Anwar responded that China is a very important partner and Malaysians looked up to China and respected Xi's leadership. She arrived in Malaysia yesterday. After a stopover in Vietnam, Cambodia is the last stop on Xi's 5-day Southeast Asia tour. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
In a pilot program aimed at enhancing road safety and ensuring the smooth flow of traffic, police will monitor CCTV footage at 4 black spots on Hong Kong Island starting next Tuesday. The trial will last for 3 months, after which the effectiveness of the initiative will be reviewed for further expansion. Accidents and other violations, such as unauthorized stopping during rush hours to load and unload goods or passengers, often causes severe traffic congestion, delaying and putting other drivers at risk. In the past, the Transport Department's traffic control and surveillance system did not have video recording capabilities. But starting next week, fixed penalty notices will be issued to offenders once drivers are identified through captured license plate details and timestamps of the violations. The first phase of the new surveillance system is installed at intersection of Queen's Road Central and Icehouse Street, Pedder Street, Bonham Strand, and the Queen's Road East intersection with Wong Nai Chung Road.
喺過去呢，我哋都已經不斷咁安排我哋嘅同事。
Mak Chung Keat, Superintendent of the Enforcement and Control Division of Traffic for Hong Kong Island, noted that despite officers patrolling the areas on foot, offenders are back in action once they leave. Even minor jams, he added, can disrupt surrounding roads and major routes. Recording will be done intermittently during peak hours, and only high-resolution cameras capable of capturing number plates will be used. Authorities will also use the footage for criminal investigations if needed, but clarified that the system lacks facial recognition, so enforcement on jaywalking is not possible. Ombudsman Jack Chen has called on the Labor Department to tighten oversight of construction safety practices after uncovering cases where inspectors submitted fake or predated records. Chen made the recommendations after his office completed an investigation of government regulations on occupational safety in the construction sector. Xiao Yun reports.
The Office of the Ombudsman had launched a direct investigation after a surge in fatal industrial accidents in recent years. The probe revealed alarming cases where some registered engineers, acting as competent examiners, did not carry out any inspections before signing forms certifying the safety of the equipment, including lifting appliances and bamboo scaffolds.
These reckless acts of these so-called competent persons and examiners put the life and safety of workers and the public at serious risk. They fail to live up to their obligation and the public's expectation and must bear legal consequences.
Chen emphasized that one life lost is one too many, urging the Labor Department to strengthen monitoring, including introducing an inspection checklist for high-risk operations and increase random checks. In the long run, the watchdog recommended implementing a digital platform requiring real-time uploads of inspection records to make sure examiners cannot fill in the forms in advance. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Lawmaker Adrian Ho of the Election Committee constituency has criticized the government-funded Hong Kong Investment Corporation for failing to disclose detailed operational and investment progress, urging regular public updates and transparency. Launched in 2022, the government's investment arm currently manages 4 funds with over $62 billion in capital and has invested in more than 100 tech projects. Speaking to iCable News, Ho expressed frustration that HKIC has only revealed a limited list of investments, citing commercial sensitivity to withhold key details such as risk indicators, returns, and the salaries and qualifications of its executives. He argued greater transparency is needed to boost investor confidence. In response, the Financial Services and the Treasury Bureau confirmed HKIC currently operates with 4 departments and 53 staff members. The fund plans to strengthen post-investment monitoring and legal services, with its first annual report expected later this year. Gearing up for a surge in travel over the Easter holidays, the Immigration Department has urged Hong Kongers, especially those traveling with families, to use the e-channel gates to avoid overcrowding at border checkpoints. Xiao Yun reports.
Heavy traffic is expected at all land borders and the airport as Hong Kongers will take advantage of the long Easter weekend starting tomorrow. Around 6 million travelers are likely to hit the road over the next 4 days. Aiming to ensure a quick entry or exit, the Immigration Department has urged SAR residents, especially those traveling with families, to use the e-channels, as the electronic gates can now be used by anyone who is 7 years and above. To ease congestion, the department will add extra counters. Wong Chi-Wah, Immigration Department's Airport Division Commander, noted that e-channel usage typically drops during holidays, likely due to families traveling with young children. To address this, the minimum age for e-channel access was lowered from 11 to 7 years old last month. Since then, about 27,000 children have used the service for the first time. The department also announced that the system will be further enhanced in the third quarter, which will permit Hong Kong residents to clear immigration using facial recognition without having to show any documents or QR codes. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Defying mounting pressure from a brutal trade war with the U.S., China's economy beat estimates to expand by 5.4% in the first quarter. Getting off to a good and steady start, officials said the economy's long-term positive trajectory remains intact. Quentin Yang has the details.
The national GDP reached 31.88 trillion yuan during the first 3 months, marking a year-on-year 5.4% growth, beating the official expectation of 5.2%. The industrial sector remained a key growth driver. Industrial output surged 6.5% year-on-year, with high-tech manufacturing, including electric vehicles and solar panels, expanding by double digits. Exports rose 6.9%, buoyed by front-loaded shipments ahead of anticipated U.S. tariffs, though analysts warn of a sharp slowdown later in the year. Retail sales grew 4.6%, bolstered by government trading programs for appliances and vehicles. Yet consumption remained a weak spot, with household spending accounting for just 44.5% of GDP, far below pre-pandemic levels, as deflation and job market uncertainties weigh on sentiment. Meanwhile, the prolonged real estate downturn showed early signs of stabilization, with new home prices in 70 cities declining at a slower monthly pace by less than 0.1% in March. Shen Laiyun, deputy head of the National Statistics Bureau, said China's economic resilience and policy tools will prevail over the added pressure of U.S. tariffs and was confident of achieving developmental goals. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 409 points. Top active stocks of the day. Xiaomi was down $1.85. Meituan was down $11.90. SMIC was up 5 cents, and BYD was down $11.60. Onto the weather now. Misty with low visibility and a minimum temperature of around 22 degrees tomorrow morning. Relatively humid and warm during the day with a maximum temperature of 28 degrees. There will be a few showers and sunny intervals in the following couple of days. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thank you for watching and good night.